students of St. Lucie County Public Schools. Thank you so much for joining in again. My name is Mr. Lewis, and I'm a 5th grade teacher at St. Lucie Elementary School. And today I have with me my assistant and son, Matthew. Say hello, Matthew.
Hello.
Today we're going to learn a lot about owls. And the first thing I want to teach you is what nocturnal means. Nocturnal is what owls are. Now, Matthew, do you eat dinner and hang out at night or during the day?
At night.
At night. So do you live during the day or do you sleep during the day?
You live during the day.
So owls do the opposite of that. Owls are awake at night and they hunt at night. So when we do our eating and living and everything during the day and we sleep at night, owls do the opposite. It's totally opposite for most animals we know. Our dogs that live with us, Matthew, do they go to bed at night or do they sleep during the day?
They sleep during the day.
They do because they're old and lazy. But that was a bad example, right? All right, so let's. So I want to give you for today's lesson, we're going to scaffold a little bit. We're going to start down at the bottom. We learned what owls are. They're nocturnal. They hunt at night. Now we're going to move up to the next level. The next level is knowing what a food chain is. Now, everything that lives, everything that survives on Earth needs energy from something. So everything starts with the sun. And the sun gives energy to what, Matthew?
Plants.
The plants. So plants soak in all that energy from the sun. And what do plants use the sun's energy for?
For making their own food.
They make their own food. Good job. Do you remember what that's called?
I do not. Photosynthesis.
Synthesis. Good job. Way to activate that prior knowledge. All right, so plants use the energy to make their food, and then an animal, something small. It doesn't have to be small, like a deers eat plants, rabbits eat plants, so an animal that eats plants. And then a bigger animal comes along that eats meat or eats meat and plants, and it eats the smaller animal. And then maybe something comes along and eats that animal. So they're getting energy from each other and allowing each other to survive. All right. So, what I'm going to show you first. Thank you for helping me out, Matthew. So, we built this little model here together. I like that good craftsmanship on that mouse, Matthew.
Thank you.
All right, so what do we got going here in this picture, Matthew?
It shows the sun that's giving the food to the plant.
All right, so we have a sun, we have a plant, we have a
Mouse.
a snake, and a owl. What I want you to do with this marker is I want you to use it to show the students watching at home where the energy is going from. So just talk to the students as you explain it.
All the energy is coming from the sun.
From the sun.
The sun gives the plant and it makes it able to have photosynthesis.
So it's giving it energy.
And
draw the arrow there.
And then the mouse comes along and it eats plants sometimes. And that's where the mouse gets its energy from. And the mouse is prey to the snake, so the snake gets its energy from the mouse, which ate the plant, which comes from the sun. And then when the owl's at night, the snake is slithering around and the owl comes up and it swoops it up and it eats it. And all that started by the sun.
All that started by the sun. So I really liked how you activated the prior knowledge that we talked about. And I really like how you explained the taking in of energy. Excellent job, Matthew.
Thank
so
you.
What I want to ask you guys at home is I want you to think about it. What gives energy to the plant? So what did we say gave energy to the plant? You remember? That's right, it's the sun. What gives energy to the mouse? Sometimes mice eat plants. So if you said plants, you're correct. Good job. What eats the snake for energy? So we said it had to be something bigger. Mice don't eat snakes. So this big owl, that's the topic of our conversation today. Owls eat snakes. All right? And then we pretty much stop there. I don't know anyone that eats owls, right?
Nope.
No, don't do that. All right, so today, what we're going to be learning about are owl pellets. And really what we're going to focus on are what owl pellets are and what they are not. So Matthew, these are owl pellets. They're sanitary, means they're very clean. They come from a facility that sells them. And we know they come from owls because owl's in the name, but what does that look like to you?
That looks like a bunch of hair.
It looks like a bunch of hair. Use your magnifying glass.
It looks very hairy. It looks like it has some type of bone in it.
Some type of bone in it. So when I teach my 5th graders about this, I also want to give a shout out to my 5th grade class. I am so sorry that you guys had to miss this amazing experiment that we were actually supposed to be having in school next week, I believe. But I really wanted to do this for you guys because I wanted to give you an opportunity to see what it's all about. I know you guys were really grossed out when we were talking about it, but I really want you guys to be able to experience this. So big shout out to my 5th graders at St. Lucie Elementary. Hope you can watch this and enjoy it. A lot of them thought that when I was talking about this, that this was poop. Does it look like poop kinda? It's
Yes.
brown, it's gross, it's dry. So a lot of kids think that it's poop. You know, it makes sense. You eat it, and then all the waste that your body doesn't take for energy, you poop it out. So basically that's what they think. The huge misconception that I know you and I have talked about before was that this is actually like a hairball. So who has cats at home? Awesome if you have cats. Have you ever seen your cat spit up a hairball? Oh, that's
Ew.
the number one reason why I don't have cats. Cats are constantly licking and cleaning themselves, and when they do, they get hair stuck in their throat, and they gotta spit it up. So that's basically the same thing as the owl. What are some of the things that owls eat?
Owls eat snakes.
Snakes. Do you think an owl could eat a mice?
It can.
A mouse?
A mouse.
So owls could eat mice, and that's basically what happens. This is all the fur from the mice and the rats that it eats, and what it does is it actually uses that so it doesn't mess up their digestive system. It kind of traps all those bones up in a big ball, and then they spit it out. And basically what happens is these are collected and sanitized so that we can learn about the awesome things that the diets of mice. All right, so what do you think we're gonna find inside this?
Mouse bones.
You think there could be mice bones in here? So I'm just gonna gently break apart this a little bit so you can just get a preview of what could be in there. I see a little tooth there or a nail. And I'm hearing and feeling a lot of crunching going on in the owl pellet. What does that look like to you, Matthew?
That looks like a rib or a leg bone.
Maybe an arm or a leg of a mouse, possibly. All right, lots of little bones and pieces. All right, so do you think this is awesome or gross?
It's pretty gross,
It's
but
pretty
it
gross?
looks pretty cool to find a full mouse skeleton.
All right, so here's what we're gonna do next. Matthew said it would be really cool if we found an entire skeleton in here. So what we're going to do next is Matthew and I have a couple more owl pellets, and we're gonna take these apart and see if we can actually put back together a meal that an owl had. Does that sound awesome?
That sounds really awesome.
All right, so when we do this, it's important we remember our lab safety. We gotta have our forceps. We gotta have our magnifying glass so we can see what's going on. But guess what else we're gonna have to have?
What?
More time, because I'm not showing it to you in this episode. St. Lucie Public Schools, thank you so much for tuning in with us for this episode. You'll have to check back at the next episode coming up to see what happens when my son takes apart the owl pellet and what we can find inside. Thank you so much for watching today, and high five to you for your effort. Thank you guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye-bye.